out to California next day. There's a little screen test, and brought him on board.
This film is called The Banksters, and it connects a lot of dots. What I found fascinating about this film is that the information within it is totally contrary to what we are told when we watch the media.
The media does their job really well, and they're here to hide the truth, not to tell you the truth, but to hide it from you and to mislead you. And of course, the media is owned by the banksters. The bankers are connected to everything: terrorism, war, abuse, scandals, Ponzi's. What can you say? I mean, it's a never-ending subject matter. And I think even the brand Banksters is growing daily.
Do you think we can see a new America?
This movie is to inspire young children with cameras, iPhone cameras, whatever, what offends them? What is offensive to your spirit, to your soul? Make a little movie about it. We need more originality. We need more organic, genuine concern. We need the brilliant children that haven't been completely drugged, or even ourselves, to use their goodness to create, not duplicate, but to create something, to express who they are, who they came to be. And I think no better discipline than film, because film, you have sound, you have motion, you have images. And the poets of old only could write things. That's all they could do. Now we have this incredible ability to impact the thought and the mind. And I think it's been misused a lot. And so it's time to use it in the correct way, to expose the people that are manipulating us and our children, causing us pain and suffering. And if we're those people, then we need to stop. It starts with the individual, not so much pointing outward, but pointing inward and saying, okay, I've corrected the things that I see. Now let me help others that are under attack. And that's really what it's all about. It's called compassion. It's called humanity.
Bernie Madoff, of course you know him as the reviled Wall Street greed monger who was allegedly the mastermind behind a $65 billion scam that ruined people's lives. Well, now Hollywood wants to tell that story. It's to searching for a star. Watch as producer Edmund Druilhet relentlessly looks for that fatal combination of superficial charm and unbridled greed.
We trade $1 trillion a year.
This guy's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, okay? So you're Hyde right now. Let's go ahead and take it from the top, a little slimier.
One day we do $1 trillion.
I think the Banksters is a brand that is going to be around for a while. The Banksters are people that absolutely have financed both sides of most all wars. And the Banksters are the only ones that profit from these wars. As people say, you know, the Federal Reserve, if they didn't have the Federal Reserve, they couldn't cause people to run out of their homes and kill each other. Think about that. You had World War I, and people lost their family members and mothers and fathers and children, and yet a few years later they run off to war again. How do you get people to do that? That's not easy. But the banksters have their ways. You call it false flags. You call it. There's never been a war that wasn't a false flag. Tell me one. The Reichstag fire in Germany. You got 9/11 in America. You have all these events that just seem to happen. And if you connect the dots, you'll see it's always the same people, the banksters. Yeah, right now, in the news today, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, they're talking about the Madoff CEO. And so that's big news. So it's kind of topical. So even with Woody Allen making the Blue Jasmine, that was Ruth Madoff's character in Blue Jasmine. So it's a very topical subject matter, and I think it'll be for a while, because there's a lot of covering up to do. I think Bernie Madoff was part of the cover-up, the LIBOR scandal, trillions of dollars of keeping the focus off of other things. So this thing the movie's been very fluid, with changing as the news came out, as the son's suicide, as all of these things happen. So it's a very unique experience, very interesting. People want fantasy. They want to see movies, and that's fine. But I think what's needed in the world is reality, more reality. People are starting to need the truth. They're losing their homes. They're losing the future of their children. They're losing any type of parental guidance. It seems like children are starting to follow all these characters they've been fed in the media.
In this film, Edmund, you throw. It's quite risky because you've exposed the game. Do you think you could upset a few people here?
We are also taking American films to new places, like Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Azerbaijan. This is like 600 million people that don't have access to American content online.
I'm from Luxembourg, the smallest country in the world almost, between France and Germany. I've been in the US for
Terry Moore here. Thank you so much for coming out.
Well, thank you.
Really
I'm looking
appreciate
forward
it.
to the movie. We've known all the same people, and
That's right, over the
oh my
years.
gosh, life is so
I
wonderful.
remember that guy that came up to you and says, "I got a belt buckle just like that." And you go, "You do?" You go, "No." Remember that?
Yes, I
She
do.
remembers it.
We look forward to seeing this movie.
Including Edmund. And Edmund, as you know, is a very brave guy who tackled very important subject in a different way. We like that. This is why we are supporting him. I like it.
These big banks that have done a runner with the money from America,
Goldman Sachs,
like
and
Goldman Sachs
and
and
Black-
Wahlbergs.
I've been thinking the same process here and trying to connect dots here. And what I've seemed to find is the City of London has been there for a long time. It's not London, it's the City of London. It's a corporation. And it's a mothership, apparently, to every city in America. So City of Los Angeles Incorporated, Los Angeles Incorporated, Palm Beach, Florida Palm Beach Incorporated. They're all incorporated. And a corporation, that falls under the City of London. So therefore, the mayor is the boss of the corporation. It's like the president is the boss of the United States corporation, but they all fall under, and Obama is the president of the U.S. corporation. And they seem to all, according to law, according to their law books, Black's law, this isn't opinion, this isn't emotion, but in black and white, the City of London owns everything. So what is the City of London? Does the Queen own the City of London? From my research, she's a figurehead. Okay, and the banksters own the City of London. So that is really, people talk about how there's a couple of corporations that own every store that you see and every city that you see. How can that be? Unless it's as I just mentioned. A corporation owns a corporation owns a corporation, and it gets back to the City of London. This whole idea of the LIBOR scandal and how the interest rates between the London banks, only the London banks, set this LIBOR scandal. The rates, the interest rates in which banks borrow money from one another. And that apparently wiped out almost every city, bankrupt every city in America, because of the interest rates and the fluctuation and what happened there. So again, that goes back to the City of London. Bernie Madoff may have been covering up the City of London. He had an office there in London. So this is an area that really needs to be researched and to find the truth about what you just asked. I think it's a very important question. I think it would help. The problem we have in America is a title of nobility. Attorneys return property back to the king. It's a title of nobility. So they're not going to go against the king. They're not going to go against England, although England was always our original enemy and still is. Did we ever get independence from England? That's the magical question. Did we ever get it, and do we have it now? That's the magical question. Are we part of the British colonies?
We're here on location from London at this very beautiful California beach, and we're here to interview Dave Edmunds, also known as Edmund Druilhet.
Yeah, basically, we shot a lot of the film here in Southern California. We shot also in Switzerland, England, Switzerland, London. We shot in Palm Beach, Aspen, Antigua. We shot in Cannes.
And you're going to start off in Los Angeles.
We are premiering in Westwood October 9th at 6 o'clock. The red carpet starts at 6 o'clock press, and I'm looking forward to it. It's called realizing that we are connected to one another, whether we like it or not. And in the giving is receiving, and helping others is the only true, real way that you're ever going to be happy. You can only get so much stuff, and then it comes down to Where do you fit in this world? Do you have friends? Do people love you? Do people care about you? If not, why? And so I think these are the things, the realizations that are happening to us now. And the harder it gets, the more we have to gravitate towards freedom. The more we enslave, the more we want to get out of the cage. So I think a lot of this is happening so that we will be forced to evolve and to do what's right. And we'll be revealed for who we are. Conspiracy films that some call conspiracy and some people call truth, the truth. So I think when someone doesn't want to believe something or consider something, they have a closed mind, they call it conspiracy. They're easy to jump. You know, I think that word was branded, like in Conspiracy Theory with Mel Gibson, to make him, anyone who used the word conspiracy is a complete fool, an idiot, no brain, can't think, retarded. And I think it's very important for the media to brand that conspiracy. So I think these Manhattan advertisement firms are very good at what they do. And they pervert words. They utilize branding in that fashion, like support your troops. Well, yeah, of course. Once you get the troops illegally over there in a war, and they say, support your troops. What are you going to do, not support your troops? You're not American. You're a terrorist. How dare you not support your troops? Well, you didn't want your troops to go there anyway. But now that they're there, you say, it's a game. It's a magic trick. They're very good at it, and they're doing it again and again and again and again. So I think, with all the veterans coming back and absolutely miserable and in pain and suffering mentally, physically, they're speaking out, they're throwing the medals in the ground, they're just miserable and suicidal and sick. And it's very sad, and it's very sad that Americans aren't waking up faster. It's very sad that they're not facing the reality and dealing with it. It's very sad that we're letting our country get away with the things they're doing. Our country, meaning these what do you call these hawks?
They've hijacked the country.
Well, the hawks, being led by people that are cowards, absolute cowards. They're not putting their family in harm's way. Like Muhammad Ali said, it's poor people killing poor people. And why should you do it?
Lieutenant, what was it like as far as your perception? How has it changed your perception after you did this movie?
Well, as I said, it was the first project that I worked on. I followed it up with a short film that I produced, executive produced, and I starred in Rain, which has won 7 awards to date.
This movie's about connecting dots. And I think life is about connecting dots. You connect dots when you're educated, when you study, when you research things, when you go to court, you're gathering all the evidence, you find common factors, and then you're making a decision based on that, from witnesses, from your own research, from your own knowledge. So what seems to be happening now is we're connecting their dots. We're connecting their dots. We're connecting the dots that they give us. They're giving us our heroes. They're giving us our weapons to fight with. In a sense, I mean, their courtrooms. They're giving us, their weapons are superior to ours. And when I say they, I mean the banksters, the people that own all these patents and these weapons that are used against Americans. So we have a real problem on our hands, and I think it's time to wake